Last month, I picked up two of Guerlain's most popular fragrances, and now that I've had the chance to play around with them, I'm here to let you all know what I think of them and do I think you actually still need them in 2022. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts, then just keep watching. Before we get into the video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Aisha. I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, today we're going to be talking about two very popular fragrances from Guerlain. Both of these are part of the L'Art and La Matière. Probably pronounced that wrong, y'all. I'm trying, but I do not speak French. We're just going to call it the Art and Materials line for this video. But I picked up two of the most popular fragrances from that line from Guerlain. And this first one is Spiritueuse Double Vanille or Spiritueuse Double Vanille. And the second one is Angelique Noir. So I picked these two fragrances up for my birthday haul. They were fragrances that have been on my wish list for years, and I finally decided to treat myself and get them. So now I've had a chance to really test them out, play around with them, and I'm here to let you guys know what I think of them. So let's go ahead and dive deep into these fragrances. So before we actually talk about the juice, let's talk about the packaging. So these are the newer bottles from the Arts and Materials line, and you may have seen people talk about these fragrances and they have those very slim bottles. I will pop a picture up here, but that was the old bottle. These are the newer bottles, and I happen to love the newer packaging more so than I love the older packaging. I like the older packaging, but to me, these just look more modern. They look more luxe, and I love that these are customizable. Now, you can order these from Guerlain.com, or you can pick them up at a Guerlain boutique. I do not have a boutique near me. And I know in the States, they actually don't even have a ton of Guerlain boutiques. They're not in every major city. So keep that in mind if you're looking for these fragrances. You may want to try to get a decant or something because it's probably not going to be easy to go in and smell these fragrances. But anyway, I love the bottles. Like I said, they are customizable. So you can customize the color that you want the cord. You can customize what the top of the cap looks like. You can also get them engraved. So I have Simply Aisha engraved in the back of both of mine. And I'll just show you both my bottles. So this is Angelique Noir. I have a green cord on that. And on the top of this one, I have the faux croc. And again, I got Simply Aisha engraved in the back. And I think there's about 2 different fonts you can choose from for the engraving as well. It also has this beam made into the glass. That was not a customization. That's just how it comes. So just wanted to share that with you. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. They feel very heavy. They feel luxe, and they should for the price point. So first, let's talk about Spiritueuse Double Vanille. This fragrance is the go-to vanilla. If you watch YouTube videos about fragrance, you probably have heard of this fragrance, but you may not have smelled it. And that's the category I was in. So when I first started watching YouTube fragrance videos, probably about 3 or 4 years ago now, I immediately wanted this fragrance, but it was not a fragrance that I was willing to spend the money on yet, because I've always loved fragrance, but I was not into spending this type of money on a fragrance at that point in my fragrance journey. So now I am, apparently, because here it is in my collection. And I feel like in the fragrance community, this is one of those pillar vanillas that everyone seems to love. So when I smell this fragrance, it is just an absolutely gorgeous vanilla. To me, it is a little bit sweet. It's a little bit boozy smelling. It also smells like it could be slightly woody or smoky. It's just very well blended. There is something so special about the vanilla in this fragrance. Now, I do kind of view this as a straight vanilla fragrance, meaning I don't really smell any other notes. I'm sure there are other notes in this fragrance, but to me, when I think about this fragrance, I think about a straight vanilla. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I think that because it's not overly sweet, it's not really a foodie type vanilla, I definitely could see a man wearing this as well. I think this is perfectly unisex, and although it's perfectly unisex, I still find this incredibly sexy. So I think this scent profile is pretty versatile, honestly, because this is the type of vanilla that I could wear during the day. I have worn this to bed at night, but I also think that it's quite sexy. So I could definitely see myself wearing this on a date night. Now, when it comes to longevity and projection, I'm gonna be honest, This is not a beast, okay? This is not a beast mode fragrance. I knew that going into it, but I feel like I need to reiterate that because I know a lot of people expect fragrances to perform above and beyond when they're in this price range, and I get it. Now, for me, that's not necessarily a requirement, but I don't want poor performance. I just want like decent performance. And that's what I get out of this fragrance. So on me, this fragrance lasts probably about 5 to maybe 6 hours. But overall, it is a softer fragrance. Would I say it's a skin scent? No. But I definitely think it's on the softer side. So like moderate projection is not going to announce your presence. But if somebody's in your inner circle, they are going to smell it and they are going to love it. So far, I have only received one compliment on this fragrance, and that's from my husband. But honestly, I have not worn this fragrance around a lot of people that would typically give me compliments. Hopefully that makes sense. Like I've worn it out to like grocery stores and all that. But typically when I get fragrance compliments, they're from friends or from coworkers or whatever. I haven't really worn this around those types of people besides my husband. So one of the concerns that I had when I purchased this fragrance is it unique enough? Because it is a vanilla, right? And there's so many vanillas. Vanilla has been done so many times over. This one is popular, so of course it's probably bound to be copied just because of the sheer popularity that it has. And so I would say this fragrance is somewhat unique, but not extremely unique because like I said, there's just so many vanillas. And this one is very well done. It's very luxurious smelling, but I think a lot of people really wouldn't consider this unique anymore because the amount of vanillas that are out on the market. So bottom line, do I think you need this one? You're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna talk about Angelique Noir and then we'll come back at the end and let you guys know whether I think you need either one of these fragrances. So the other fragrance is Angelique Noir, and this fragrance again is a vanilla fragrance, but it is a green vanilla. So Angelica is a note that is giving this fragrance its greenness. And initially when I sprayed this on paper, if you guys saw my first impression of this fragrance, I just smelled a lot of greenness. However, as this fragrance settles, the vanilla really starts to come out. And I will say on skin, I get the vanilla almost immediately. So on skin, this performs a lot different than it does on paper for me. Overall, I get this beautiful vanilla scent, similar to the vanilla that's in this one, but it's nowhere near as spicy. This one is more just a very calm, smooth vanilla. It's still that Guerlain vanilla that people know and love, but there is this very green tone to it. And when I say green, it doesn't necessarily smell like grass, but it smells like a plant. However, I don't think that it is so sharp. This is like a plant smell with rounded edges, and then you combine that with this beautiful vanilla. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a super sweet scent. Again, this is not really a gourmand scent, but there is some sweetness to this scent. It's not bitter like some green fragrances can be, because you still have that sweetness that is part of the actual vanilla in this fragrance. Now, when it comes to projection and longevity for this one, I find this one lasts pretty long on my skin. I would say this fragrance lasted on me about 8 hours, and probably longer on my clothes, but on my actual skin about 8 hours. Now, it probably turned into a skin scent around that 6 hour mark. So it's still not like amazing as far as longevity, but I would say that's pretty good. Honestly, it was more than I was expecting, to be completely honest with y'all. As far as projection, this one has a little bit more projection than Spiritueuse Double Vanille. I find that I can smell this a little bit more on myself than SDV. And I have gotten a compliment from somebody when I wore this to church. So apparently people can smell it on me as well. Again, this is not a fragrance that has like a ton of projection. People are not going to smell you before you walk in the room, but I think it has moderate projection. So is this fragrance unique? I definitely think it is, because of that Angelica note. It really stands out, and I think that makes this fragrance quite different even from other green type vanillas that I've smelled. All right, now that we've talked about both fragrances, let's get into whether or not you need these in 2022. Now, of course, I feel like both of these fragrances are legends, right? We have to respect that. So They have been around. They have stood the test of time. People have loved them for years. So let's give them that respect. But do you still need them in 2022 with all the other fragrance offerings that are out there now? So again, we're going to talk about Spiritueuse Double Vanille first. Do you still need this one in 2022? I would say it depends. And let me tell you why. If you are a new fragrance enthusiast, you're just getting into fragrances, you want a vanilla fragrance and you want a very nice one, do I think that you need to go for this one? I'm going to be honest and say no. Now, I love this one. I am happy it's in my collection. So for me, I need it because this is one that for me is a little bit more than just a fragrance. It's a fragrance that I've wanted for so long. For me, it is something that I felt like I needed in my collection. I knew I had other vanillas. I knew I probably had something similar to this. And if you guys want to know similar fragrances to this, let me know in the comments below. I can do a video talking about that. I do have a vanilla video coming up within the next month or so. So I'm sure this one will be talked about in that video as well. So make sure you're subscribed. But anyway, I knew I had fragrances that would be similar to this just because, you know, I love vanilla, and how many ways can you do a straight vanilla? I would say that for me, I need this fragrance because although I have all those other vanillas, I still love this one. I have still been wearing this one a lot, not just to test it out, but I don't know if y'all can see my dent. There is something about this one that I absolutely love. And although I would say a fragrance newbie doesn't necessarily have to go this route, I think that if you are looking to just have one very good basic vanilla, and by basic, I do not mean bad. I mean like just all about the vanilla. If you're looking to have one very good one, this will be a good option. So do you need it? It depends on which category you fall into. But generally, I would say no, you don't need it, but I do. Now for Angelique Noir, this fragrance is not going to be for everybody because it has that greenness to it. Just some people are not going to like it. So we're excluding those people. But for people that don't mind a green vanilla, I would say you absolutely need this one. This one is quite unique. It is gorgeous. It is so well done. It wears well. And overall, I think it would just make an excellent addition to anybody's fragrance collection. Even if you don't like green vanillas, see if you can get your nose on this one on your skin and just try it out. You may find that you fall in love with it. So I'm going to go with, do you need Angelique Noir? Yes. Now, of course, these are fragrances, so we don't actually need any of them. So take my verbiage with a grain of salt. But overall, I am so happy to have both of these fragrances in my collection. If I could only choose one, I would have to say I would go with Angelique Noir just because it is more unique, but I wouldn't want to choose. I love this one, and you can tell by my use already. Like, I have a lot of fragrances. I switch up my fragrances all the time, and I've used this one quite a bit already, and I absolutely love it, would not get rid of it. But if I had to choose one, I would go with Angelique Noir. So I hope you all found this video helpful. If you've tried either one of these fragrances, let us know what you think of them in the comments below. Did they live up to the hype for you? Please share your thoughts on that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. Also, if you're not already following me on Instagram, check me out on Instagram. I typically share sneak peeks of new fragrances and just what I'm wearing for the day. So definitely check me out on Instagram if you're not already. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.